What is up, everybody? How you guys doing today? My name is David DeFranco, and welcome to my gaming basement tour for spring of 2025. Heavy emphasis on the spring because I'm not done yet. Guys, I've gotten so much work done in the past month or two, but I still have quite a bit I still want to get done. So, in other words, there's a good chance I'm going to create another gaming basement tour video in summer 2025. So guys, here we go. I have gotten so much work done. It has been ridiculous. This is something I've been wanting to do literally since I moved into this house, guys. I bought this house, I think, 8 years ago? And even back in my original house tour video, which is linked right below, a lot has changed since then. I said that I want to make this like the ultimate gaming room or gaming museum or whatever I worded it as. And it just took so long. It took me so long, but I'm so glad and so honored and so proud of myself to finally say this. It's actually happening. It's actually happening, and it makes me so happy. Not only has it inspired me to start collecting games again, especially old games on eBay, more on that in future videos, but it's inspired me to play my old games again. So, enough rambling. Here we go, guys. This is a tour of my gaming basement for spring of 2025. Enjoy. Okay, so the best way of starting the tour is by coming down my stairs, which are right here, leading out from my kitchen. And this is what you see when you get down here. Look at this, guys. Look at this. I've gotten a ridiculous amount of work done. What started as a simple project of just taking out my older consoles has quickly turned into buying multiple TVs, multiple sound bars, new furniture, collecting new and old games. It has been an incredibly fun and hard process, including painting my walls. Check it out. This is the same exact dark gray paint that I'm using upstairs in my office, as well as my gaming room. Yes, I'm a huge fan of this paint, so I figured why not bring it down here and apply the same color. Now, over there is my video light, just for this video's purpose. I'm going to keep that on for a little bit, because the lighting down here is very intense, and it causes some crazy shadows on my face. Like this. Look at this. However, it's incredibly important that I say this. While I'm down here, gaming at nighttime or whatever, these lights are generally not on. So I'm going to show you what it looks like with the lights off, because, guys, I'm telling you this right now. Gaming down here late at night with a cup of coffee by my side and the LEDs on and the soundbars just blasting retro classic sounds, it's a vibe. It is a vibe. So coming over here in this portion of the basement, these are the main light controls. And here we go. Boom. Does that not look much better? And guys, I'm still just getting started, meaning I've got plenty of LEDs I want to hang up, plenty of posters, plenty of just things that I can find, whether it's through thrifting at places like Goodwill, buying things on eBay, brand new furniture from Amazon or Walmart. And speaking of Walmart, a Walmart Spark driver just dropped off 2 more of these shelves outside. They're literally sitting outside right now against my garage, and I'm excited to build those tonight while I preview the exclusive of Vlog Vlog. But okay, enough talk about furniture and lights and whatever. Let's talk about the things that really matter. The video games. And actually, I think I'm gonna leave the lights off. I mean, it's not that bad, right? I mean, this camera is fantastic in low light. Okay, so starting over in this portion of the basement, these are my more classic consoles, the consoles that I pretty much grew up with during, I guess, my high school years. So this is the original PlayStation 2, Sega Dreamcast, original PlayStation 1, and yes, everything works just fine, guys. I've got a Sega Genesis as well as a Sega CD down there. And I do have a 32X, but it's currently on display, just because it doesn't fit in that tiny space, so maybe I'll take that out eventually. And of course, the original Indigo GameCube. And this piece of furniture I found on Amazon is very small, but it's absolutely perfect for this, my original 46-inch Samsung TV. Yes, it works perfectly fine. I have had zero issues with it. I just love it. And this soundbar I got from Goodwill for, I think, $10. And it works fine for the most part. It did have a wireless sub, and I still have it somewhere. It was over there, but it was giving me issues. But for the time being, I mean, yeah, guys, this is a soundbar from my older console, so obviously it's so much better than the audio that I would normally get from my Samsung 46-inch TV. It's a mouthful. And speaking of full, guys, check this out. While this is not full, it is a classic composite AV box with 8 inputs. So check that out. I've got everything on there, and all the cables are being fed into this cable box that I bought on Amazon, and it keeps things nice and organized and less horrible looking on the eyes. Over here, these are my classic handhelds. We've got my PlayStation Vita, original PSP. This is my newest one. I mean, this is one of those handhelds. This is the TrimUI Smart Pro handheld. It's got literally thousands of games and emulators on it. I love this thing. I mean, I don't use it that often, but I'm glad I have it. So there it is. Got my Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Pocket, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance SP, probably my favorite handheld of all time, original Nintendo DS. And yes, the Wii U gamepad. The Wii U gamepad is horribly underrated, and it's actually been getting the most attention down here in regards to catching up on games I never played. For example, I was just playing a bunch of Star Fox Zero last week. Great game, kind of infuriating last boss, but overall a great game. And yes, ironically, the Wii U's not on right now. That is my Xbox 360, running probably my favorite Burnout game of all time, Burnout Paradise. But okay, I think we're done here. So those are my classic consoles and my handhelds. Oh, and down here are just a bunch of old controllers, such as my PlayStation 1 controller, the Wavebird for the GameCube, because back then, having a wireless controller was a huge deal. Huge deal. So this right here was a breakthrough for its time. And in here, I've got even more cables and controllers for the GameCube, PlayStation 1. I think my Xbox 360 connects in there and all that stuff, and Xbox One Connect. There it is, actually. And so basically, if I ever need something, well, then I know it's most likely in one of those containers. All right, moving on to the other portion of the basement, and please ignore the walls. I have to clean that because my dad and I basically got a bunch of work done here in regards to running cables behind the wall. And honestly, guys, that is the absolute way you should always do it. And if you can't do it, at least run the cables through like a raceway or cableway or whatever they call them, just to make it nice. Because I just can't stand on TikTok and Instagram when I see people's TVs in the background with a bunch of cables just hanging from the TV. It just looks horrible. It looks horrible. Take pride in your setups. Anyway, this is the 55-inch TCL TV. Guys, no joke, I got this for about, like, I think $250 plus tax on Amazon. Incredibly cheap TV. I was not always a huge fan of TCL because I'm a Samsung guy when it comes to TVs, hence the 65-inch over there and my 46-inch over here. But I wanted something affordable, and my end goal with this basement was to pretty much get everything up and running without spending a ton of money. Because, well, let's be honest, these TVs, for the most part, are kind of hosting older consoles, so it's not incredibly important that I'm, competitive or anything down here. This is just a place to have fun. Even though I can rage in Star Fox Zero, but we're not going to talk about that. Anyway, TCL 55-inch TV. Guys, honestly, this TV is great for the price. I don't really have any major complaints. The response time is not insane, but I will say there's a reason. Actually, there's two reasons why this is on the wall. Number one, honestly, I originally bought this TV for over here, but it just looked too small. So I was like, okay, I will mount it on the wall. Thanks to my dad's help. Thank you, Dad. And number two, this is now my fitness TV, meaning I'm going to use this for games like Ring Fit Adventure on the Switch, and maybe even some Wii Fit. I mean, I'm not the most in shape kind of guy, but if I'm doing any kind of fitness, then I want to have some fun while doing so, because God forbid I go outside, right? Okay, but seriously, guys, this TV is excellent for just that, because it's eye level when standing up, and this being a basement means it's always cool. Honestly, guys, it could be like 90 degrees outside, but because I'm literally inside the earth, that means it's just an always nice, cool temperature down here. I absolutely love it. Okay, so talking about more gear, this is my OG Switch. I love this thing. It got a lot of usage, but now I have my OLED Switch, which gets more usage. This is a third-party Switch controller with RGB. Honestly, it's not that bad. It's a little clicky. Hear that? Meaning it's a little more clicky than my standards. But hey, it's great to put down here in the basement for some casual Switch gameplay. So why not? Moving to the left, this is my original Wii with an HDMI adapter. So obviously, you're not going to get true HD out of the Wii. It's just impossible. But I wanted to have my Wii down here for games like Wii Fit, even though I don't own Wii Fit, but I would like to own it at some point, and just games that require space. Hence, again, why this is a wall-mounted TV. But you might notice something awkward. Because of this HDMI adapter, I can't really position it the way I want to. So, in other words, it kind of sticks out a little too much. God, that's an eyesore. Do not look at that wall. I promise I'll clean that after this video. Anyway, I'm kind of in the market for a used Wii Mini, which is a red and black top-loading Wii. It just sits flat, and I think it will look a lot better here than having to position it at this awkward angle. Next to this, what a segue. This is a TCL soundbar. I've never owned TCL soundbars before, but I figured, you know what? I'm so happy with TCL TVs these days that I might as well get myself a TCL soundbar. Originally, this was over here, but then I ended up buying that TV and that soundbar. More on that in a bit. But yes, this soundbar is incredibly awesome for the price, and it does include a wireless subwoofer, which is down there. Now, down here is kind of a rat's nest of cables. Not really much to look at, but I definitely plan on hiding this with something, maybe like a poster board or, I don't know, just something to cover that mess, because I am definitely a proud user of cable management products and stuff like that. So there you go. There is the Switch and the Wii TV. Love it. And now on the opposite side, my cat Shiloh. Hi Shiloh, how are you? What a segue. So this is a huge chair that I bought a while back when I used to live in the carriage house, but since then I bought my own house, and guys, I love this basement. I absolutely love everything about it, except for the intense lighting. But I mean, as you can see, even with the overhead lighting off, you can still see plenty. And I definitely plan on adding more lights, especially on that wall. Okay, but let's focus on this. This right here is my favorite portion of the basement. So this is my 65-inch TCL TV, QLED actually, so this is quite a bit nicer than the 55-inch TV, which is not QLED. But again, guys, I got this for like 250 bucks plus tax. So cheap. It's insane how low pricing has come, or has gone with TVs. And this 65-inch 4K TV, again, QLED, I think it cost me $370, which is still stupid cheap. That is so stupidly cheap compared to what we paid years ago. But do not get it mistaken. If you want a truly good TV, I recommend spending minimum $1,200 to $1,500, like if you're really serious. But I can't say it enough. This is my basement. I'm not like super serious about being down here. This is more of a let's just have fun vibe and just enjoy myself kind of setup. So anyway, with that said, guys, 65-inch 4K TV, QLED, absolutely love this TV. There is a tiny manufacturing error right there. You can see where it's not straight, but honestly, it's not a big deal because my 65-inch Samsung over there has a similar issue in the top left corner. Coincidence? Maybe. But the point is, eventually I just forgot about it, and honestly, it really doesn't bother me all that much. Okay, so speaking of TCL, I have another much larger TCL soundbar down here. Guys, believe me when I say this thing goes incredibly loud, and much like that soundbar, this soundbar includes a wireless subwoofer. So yes, I get some decent bass down here. Obviously not as rich as my true 5.1 surround sound setup upstairs in my living room, but considering I'm sitting right here enjoying games from my childhood like Burnout Paradise, you know what, guys, this is enough for me. Believe me, it sounds incredible. Okay, so down here in the furniture, I got this thing years ago, by the way, for this TV, but it literally just sat over there for years. So I was like, you know what, since I'm doing my basement, I might as well just bring it over here and use it for these consoles. So we've got my Xbox 360, Xbox One, OG Xbox, and yes, all of this works just fine, guys. My Wii U, and my PlayStation 4 Pro, which I haven't even really booted yet because I've been so focused on this. This is my Wii U, guys. I absolutely love the Wii U. Do not let the negative press and negative comments on YouTube and social media in general fool you. Seriously, the Wii U is a very solid console with a very unique take on gameplay. Hence this. This is the gamepad. Yes, the battery life may be terrible, but it really is a great device. Check that out. So basically, you get a dual screen gameplay. I mean, the 360 is going right now, and actually the Wii U is booting. But yes, this thing was awesome for the time, and in my opinion, it still is awesome. So I am definitely honored to own that console. And over here, we've got some LEDs. I think these are Philips Hue. I got these bulbs years ago, and yes, they are connected to my Hue app. So I have them set to a specific scene. So in other words, yes, I can change these to any color I want at any moment in time, which is awesome. Shout out to my dude, Danny Manook. He used to work at Target years ago, and he sent me these store displays for this game, Mario & Rabbids Kingdom Battle. I believe I streamed this years ago on Twitch, and I beat it, and I recall enjoying it quite a bit. So yeah, he sent me two of them. One is right here, and the other one is over there. And speaking of, what do you say we go over here? Let me move this light. Obviously, this is not always out. This is just for me being a YouTuber, meaning I want some kind of decent light when I sit right here and I make my video game collection videos. So this right here is my original 65-inch Samsung TV that I bought myself in the carriage house days years ago. And honestly, guys, this TV will always be special to me because this is my first ever 4K TV. I will never forget being absolutely blown away jumping from 1080p to 4K. This thing is awesome. Actually, let's just get some better light in here temporarily just so I can show you this because a lot of it blends in. Yes, if you haven't noticed, I'm a big fan of black furniture. Black against dark gray, in my opinion, just looks great. And it's got that very professional / cinema vibe. Okay, so underneath my TV, I've got my Apple TV 4K, a Samsung soundbar. Much like TCL, guys, I've never had a Samsung soundbar before, so I figured why not give it a try. By the way, I have to mention, the walls don't look that bright in person. It's definitely a slightly darker gray, but between this compensating for low light and this just shining bright white light onto the walls, it looks brighter than it actually is. So yeah, anyway, I just wanted to mention that. But yeah, guys, this soundbar sounds amazing, and much like my other soundbars, yes, it includes a wireless subwoofer. Now, I gotta make it clear, if you're looking for good, serious sound, you should always go for a proper surround sound setup. But because I have so many setups here, I don't want things to be cluttered with like left, right, and center channel speakers and all that stuff and these big ass subwoofers. I'm just looking for a minimalism while getting much better than average performance. So in other words, TV speakers are a big no-no. Never ever use your built-in TV speakers. The best thing you can do is spend $100 on a decent soundbar, and believe me, it will ultimately change the way you watch TV and play video games forever. Sounds dramatic, but it's the truth. But still, surround sound is the way to go. And speaking of, what a beautiful segue. One of the primary reasons I went with this soundbar is because out of the box, it's actually compatible with rear Samsung surround sound speakers. So eventually, at some point, I want to get those two speakers, put them back here, maybe move the couch up or just get this out of here, I don't know. And by this, I mean this couch bed. And then, well, just put the speakers back there. Because eventually I want to sit down here and just watch a horror movie and just try to freak myself out with all the lights out. Because it's definitely a different vibe, you know, when you watch a horror movie in the basement versus somewhere like your living room. Alright, moving on to the video game selection / my collection. I've got a bunch of stuff here, guys. My Game Boy Advance bag, the SNES Classic, which is compatible with HDMI. Now, I'm not going to go into detail with every game, obviously, because if you haven't noticed now, I've been quite focused on making some video game collection videos for each and every console that I own. And so far, I've done collection videos for the PlayStation 1 and the Dreamcast, which is up here. And honestly, the Dreamcast will always be a favorite console of mine. I have sold a few games. I mean, I'm ashamed to say that I went through a selling phase years ago when I was absolutely obsessed with eBay. But there are some games that I would never sell, such as D2, the original Crazy Taxi, Phantasy Star Online, Power Stone 2. This game's worth like $100 or something like that. But anyway, the point is, thankfully I didn't sell many of my games, but I definitely sold a handful here and there. Haven't we all? But with that said, and I announced this in the next weekend vlog or whatever, instead of thrifting at Goodwill, yeah, I mean, I'll be selling games here and there. For the most part, 99% of my video game finds at thrift stores and eBay and whatever are for me now. I am adding games to my collection. I don't care if the games suck. I'm adding them to my collection because I'm trying to get my hands on as many games as I physically can. Except for sports games like Madden and stuff like that, because in my opinion, they're just, I don't know. I mean, one, I'm not a big sports guy, and two, they don't really hold their value. Not that I'm really after value, but I don't want to be crowding my shelves with Madden games. No offense. And speaking of collecting as many games as I possibly can, this is exactly what I'm talking about, guys. I found all of these games at Goodwill. These right here that are stacked on top. Originally, I had them bundled on eBay, but I took them off eBay because I was like, you know what? Why not make them part of my collection? And down here is my original collection for the Wii, the Wii U, 3DS, DS, Super Nintendo, which is still not hooked up. I gotta find that. I know I have it. Oh, and by the way, you may have noticed, ironically, the Nintendo 64 is one of my favorite consoles of all time, but it's not down here because my sister decided to borrow it for college years ago. Guys, we're talking, what, more than 10 years ago at this point. And she never gave it back. Kristen, what the hell? No, but seriously, she said she'll look for it, and if she can't find it, then I'll buy a used one on eBay. Not a big deal. But thankfully, I do have most of my games here for 64, except for GoldenEye. I know the horror. I guess she borrowed that. And Mario Kart 64, the real reason why she borrowed the 64. But hey, eventually I'll get those games back. But yeah, so far, I gotta say, guys, I am quite happy with my game collection. Most of these I've owned for years, most of them, but a few of them I recently bought just to add to my collection, such as Fallout 3. Not the biggest Fallout fan, sorry, but I feel like it's worthy to be part of my collection. So there you go. Oh, and down here are my 64 games. Speaking of the 64, Breath of the Wild soundtrack, which I found at Goodwill. Seriously, this thing is worth like, I think 60 to 90 bucks. But yeah, I just wanted to keep it for myself. And speaking of music, my CDs. So eventually I want to put the CDs on like one of those classic 90s / early 2000s style CD towers. And also going back to what I said towards the beginning of the video, I just had 2 of these shelves dropped off by a Walmart Spark driver. You gotta love Walmart Plus, even though I'm canceling that tonight. I literally just signed up just because of the basement stuff I needed. Yeah, so the next time you see me in the weekend vlog, exclusive vlog, or whatever, I will have 1 more shelf on each side, equaling to 4 shelves total, because with all the collecting I'm planning on doing, there's obviously going to be quite a bit of overflow, like this, for example. Look at all these Xbox 360 games. Obviously, I'd rather have them lined up properly instead of stacking on top of one another. And up here in my fireplace mantle area, yes, I don't have a fireplace. I mean, it wasn't here when I moved in, and honestly, it's not something I really want. It's just not important to me. So I figured, why not take advantage of this incredibly solid, strong beam. Seriously, this thing is like part of the house. It is never, ever coming down. So I figured, why not use it to hold some serious weight? We've got my Modern Warfare 3 Xbox 360, my OG Xbox 360, which needs to be cleaned apparently, and yes, eventually it red ringed, but I literally have like, what, 3 or 4 360s. Minecraft Edition Xbox One, that's my favorite Xbox console design of all time. I love that. Look at that, guys. Absolutely beautiful. Original PlayStation 3, 60 gigabytes. Sega Saturn, which is not connected because I literally don't have room over there. So eventually I want to figure that out. Oh, look at Shiloh just sleeping. He's like, damn it. This freaking David guy just yaps. And there is my 32X, which does work. But again, I ran out of room, so much like the Sega Saturn, eventually I'll figure out a solution. But for now, I am quite happy with this setup because it fits this portion of the basement perfectly. Look at this. Like, we have this small wall right here. And yes, there is a little access area behind there. So this just conveniently and cleverly disguises that. You know, that's making the basement look a little better. Also, I put some molding down there, molding trim, and over here as well, across the entire wall. I think that's it. I mean, yeah, we've got random stuff like the game room sign, Minecraft sword, all that stuff, Rock Band setup. Yeah, I think this is it for now. I mean, I've got this couch that my parents gave to me years ago. Incredibly comfortable, incredibly comfortable. It doesn't recline, so I had to do this. Put my little feet, you know, on the coffee table, but who cares, you know? Who cares? I'm not trying to impress anybody. This is just me. By the way, I live alone. I'm pretty sure most of you know that, but in case you were wondering. But hey, ladies, hit me up on MySpace if you're curious. And I've got that chalkboard area, but that's not really part of my gaming room. And I guess while we're in the basement, I'll briefly show you this, because I am a very active eBay seller. I mean, sales have been slow lately, but there is my eBay inventory. And if you're wondering where a good portion of those Wii games came from, it was here. So basically, this shelf holds all the games and media that I find at Goodwill. And as you can see from that big blank spot, I was like, you know what? Never mind. I'm just gonna keep these games for myself. I don't have a PS5 anymore, so I am indeed selling these games that I got a while back. I'm just not a big PlayStation 5 guy. And these are duplicates of games I already own. And Real Fishing 3, I just don't care about this. You know what? Fishing is as boring as it gets to me. I mean, unless we're talking about like Animal Crossing or Pokemon or whatever. But guys, I have to stay true to my word. So that's gonna be part of my collection. There you go. It just happened real time on camera. But yeah, this is my inventory room. Got all the stuff I found here from Goodwill. And down here, I've got my plushes, just chilling, waiting to be sold. And over here is my actual eBay setup with my 2013 Mac Pro, my oversized display. And yeah, this is where I actually conduct my eBay business, where I weigh for shipping. I've got a bunch of boxes over there. Got this old iMac from my friend Gil. What's up, Gil? Got this very, very nice bar, but I'm trying to sell it. So basically, when this sells, this is going to go over there, which will be perfect. So eBay work on this side and eBay inventory on this side. Okay, the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 is getting quite warm, so I think I'm going to go. But yeah, this is a lot of fun, guys. But if there's one thing I had to make clear, and I'm sure this is common sense, but I gotta say it anyway, because there's always that one person, why don't you do this, why don't you do that? It ain't done. It's not done yet. You know, I mean, obviously I've got to add more lights and stuff like that. And I've got to hang things on walls and stuff, so yeah, I got a lot done, but I still have a ways to go. But most of the hard work is done. Guys, let me tell you. Painting and moving furniture and basically doing everything by yourself, aside from mounting TVs, is a ton of work. A ton of work. And by the way, these TVs aren't usually running 24/7. I just kind of turned them on today, just to make it more interesting for you guys. Anyway, guys, I'm proud of my basement. I'm just so glad I'm finally doing this. And now it's kind of like a template. I can just keep adding on, keep adding games, keep adding hardware, keep adding lights and decorations. So what do you guys think? Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate your support. And I got nothing else to say. Happy gaming. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.